Welcome to Today's Issues, offering a Christian response to the issues of the day. Here's your host, Tim Wildmon, President of the American Family Association.
All right, a lot to talk about on the program today, and we thank you as always for listening. You want to give us a little preview, Ed?
Yes, in just a moment, we're going to have our first guest, Petra Spencer-Pearce, talking about Return to the Hiding Place, new film out. Then we'll be talking with Pastor J.C. Church, Watchman on the Wall, Greg Jutila, Faith and the Modern Family, a new book out. How do you handle the pressures of daily life in America and keep your family on the straight and narrow? And then Benjamin Weinthal talking about Christian persecution.
All right. We want to welcome our first guest.
Yes, Petra Spencer-Pearce, and we're excited about this movie, Return to the Hiding Place. It is reviewed in the May AFA Journal. Randall Murphy, the editor of the journal, watched it and said it is the finest Christian film he's ever seen.
I was the first fugitive to be hidden at the home of Corrie ten Boom, a Dutch watchmaker who gradually converted the home above her shop into a safe haven for Jews and members of the underground resistance.
We're building an uprising, Mama. A student resistance.
This is Amsterdam Central Station. The Nazis must be wondering what kind of sale we're having on watches.
You must give him a word, Corey. Saving lives is our first concern. It's time we turn this house into a safe house.
Want to go back to college?
No. I'm at peace knowing that I'm doing the most important job that exists. I'm saving lives. Greater love of any man who would lay down his life for a friend. Atty, listen carefully. I need to round up all the children and get them to the back road.
Petra, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll see if you're the finest interview we've ever had. That's a lot to live up to.
No pressure. No pressure.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Well, anyway, tell us about your movie.
Our movie is set in World War II. It's, if you're familiar with Corrie ten Boom at all,
yes.
It's a sequel to that, or rather, almost a parallel story. You know, we see The Hiding Place. We read The Hiding Place. A lot of people have heard her speak, and you'll hear her talking about, you know, Cartog and my teenage army. And this has sort of been a mystery of how did this family get 880 Jews behind the wall and then to safety, because, you know, they weren't all just hiding there for 2 years. And as we started uncovering things, we realized that the mystery was her secret student army, which was comprised of mostly teenagers ages 13 to 19, led by a 25-year-old boy. And they were really amazing kids who refused to join the Nazi army and instead decided to fight them with no training whatsoever and become part of the resistance. So it's a really exciting, amazing true story.
I love true stories, and especially with all the drama you got wrapped up in that. And how did you get involved in this project?
Well, my dad actually was speaking And after he was speaking at this event, this sweet older gentleman came up to him and said, "Hey, I really wanted to talk to you after hearing you speak about the value of life. And, that's very important to me because I grew up during World War II and we helped save the Jews." And as he starts talking, my dad said, "Oh, in the Netherlands, that's, Corrie ten Boom?" And he said, "Oh, yes, I was the first one to be hidden in her home." And so as they became friends over the years and we started hearing all these amazing stories of what they had done, my dad said, your story really needs to be told to encourage people that even if you think you're too young or you're just one person and you can't make a difference, because of your faith being your basis to stand for what you believe instead of going with the majority of the crowd, that is something that we need to be encouraged to do as believers. And so we started doing research in the Dutch National Archives, and we were all young kids at that time. This has been a 17-year journey. And we all eventually ended up going into the entertainment industry in different venues. And when he got the funding and it was the right time for us to make the film, we all left our jobs to go work on it. So I had been a producer for a while and came to produce the film. My sister graduated from the Yale School of Drama with her master's, and she plays Addie Van Worden, Corrie ten Boom's niece, in the film. And my brother is an editor, and so he edited the film because I directed it. My mom is a wardrobe designer, and my youngest brother works in the finance department. So it's been a family project that's been really dear to our hearts and really important for us to get this amazing message out.
Petra, I hear that a lot of evangelical teens, Catholic teens for that matter as well, are hungry today. Christian young people are hungry for a cause. They want to do something to try to make their world better. And what seems so encouraging about this story is this, as it's described on your website, an army of untrained teenagers helped to save lives of Jews under the Nazi reign in the Low Countries. So this really is an encouragement, I think, for a lot of people who may look around at our technology-obsessed young people and say, you know what, your youth is not a barrier to doing something great for God.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a huge message in this film. We're worried about, oh my gosh, my PlayStation stopped working, my life is over, like these little things that kids deal with these days, and not only kids, adults, we have all of that too. But to see these kids making life and death decisions every day to save the lives of others and people that they don't even know, but they were successful. Every single Jewish person that was hidden in the ten Boom house reached safety. Not one of them were caught or killed. And that's huge because these kids in the resistance, almost all of them did die because they were caught rescuing people and giving them ration cards and things like that. So, it's a very sobering thing, but also it's encouraging and motivating that, we as people and as individuals, we can make a difference. You're absolutely right. And it also shows the power of Christian families in the time of stress, and that God gives us supernatural strength, and we don't even have it within ourselves to be possible.
All right, the movie is called Return to the Hiding Place. Where can people watch it?
We are doing a limited release this weekend. You can see it in San Antonio at Cohost and Embassy Theaters, in New Braunfels at Creekside Cinemas, in Chicago at the South Barrington AMC, in Washington, D.C. at the Boston Common Theater, and in Holland, Michigan, where we shot a good majority of the film at the Knickerbocker. And another thing that's kind of cool is that we are the only film that's ever been able to shoot in the actual ten Boom home and the real hiding place in Europe. Oh. So that's pretty fun. You want to go see that too.
What's your planned rollout beyond that? Is it going to go to DVD at that point, or how will people who are not living in those communities, how will they be able to plan on seeing it?
Well, our plan is to do a wider release in the fall. If you go to our website, you can order tickets for the city where we are now, but also you can send us a message saying, hey, you know, we would love for you to come to our city. How can you bring it here? And we are working on a process where if enough people from a city want us to come there, we definitely will. And then after that, we will be selling the DVDs as well. If people aren't in the cities where we come, so they definitely can purchase DVDs. Our address is, our website is returntothehidingplace.com. So we have a place where you can contact us and let us know that you're interested. And when we get those DVDs out, we'll definitely let everybody know.
All right, Petra, thank you so much for being our guest, and thank you for your fine work and everybody involved in this project. Randall Murphy, I mentioned before, the editor for the Journal. He is a tough man to please when it comes to quality of films. You passed a pretty high hurdle, at least around here, for that. So congratulations.
Well, that was very important to us that we make a Christian film that surpassed even Hollywood standards and had high production value so that people could get the message and not be worried about, trying to look over bad filmmaking. So,
what's the website again? Return to Hiding Place is the name of the movie.
Yes, returntothehidingplace.com, or you can go to hide-movies.com.
Okay, thank you, Petra. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Petra-Pearce, our guest, right?
Yes.
Wow, can't wait to see that. You know, when you got a movie like that, we want to make you aware of it and check it out. Go see it.
I think our listeners appreciate that. We know there are people out there who want that kind of uplifting, faith-based, and family-friendly film.